Okay, so how do we get that information? I do it via Google Forms, create a quick survey, and link it to a spreadsheet, and then we'll be able to download the data and upload it to the tool. So topic selection, we will start with a multiple choice grid, which allows us to assess their preferred topics. So first choice, second choice. So as an example, one of my colleagues has a class where he has students break into groups and select a sustainable development goal to analyze and decide on a particular project having to do with that sustainable development goal. So let's use that as an example here. SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So using the multiple choice grid here is helpful. We can require responses for the first and second preference, and by limiting one response per column, which you cannot see because the camera is blocking, requiring one response in each row, that will make sure that, for example, the student isn't able to select SDG 1 for both their first and second preference. The tool needs them to make two discrete preference choices. Okay, so we have their choices. We need to know something about them. So here we're going to do a drop down for the fixed, which is they could have different tutorial slots. So 9 a.m. on a Monday, 3 p.m. Tuesday. Well, let's do Monday, 9 a.m., Tuesday, 10 a.m., and Wednesday, 3 p.m. Okay, and so on and so forth. Next, we need that required. Next, we need to know something about them. And again, the example we're working with, we want to know something, their major. So it could be politics, sociology, anthropology, and so on and so forth. Now this attribute could be gender. If you want to make sure the groups are distributed, the attribute feature is to distribute amongst groups. So for example, in this class, one of the goals of the class is to get students to be able to work effectively in interdisciplinary teams. So actually he wants students who are from politics working with students from sociology, anthropology, etc. They want the teams themselves to be diversely composed, so that the attribute function in the tool spreads them out to the best that it's possible. Okay, so we've got fixed, we've got choices. For the username, one way you can do this is by asking the students to fill that in. You can ask them their email address or their username, their student ID as a short answer. You might also want to consider under settings and responses having collecting their email addresses. Sometimes students will type in their student ID wrong or their email address wrong, and you need to know who they are. So that can cross-reference that. Conversely, if you only rely on their email addresses, sometimes they're logged in with their Google private accounts, and it confuses the system. So anyway, this is what it looks like. If we preview the form, this is what it looks like. I'm a student. I'm coming in here. I'm looking at the choices. I want SDG 1, and I'm going to try and do one for both, and it shouldn't allow me to do that, and it is allowing me to do that, so something's not set up quite right here. Limit one per column. Let's go back and refresh, and now it says if I try and have SDG1 as my first and second preference, that's not allowed, so I'll need to select something else here. Which tutorial am I in, which major, and some identifier, student number, etc. So we submit that, and those answers can be ported over to a spreadsheet. And so here we've got username attribute fixed. We'll want to change this to fixed first underscore choice, second underscore choice, just because the tool needs it to be called that explicitly. Otherwise, it'll get confused. Okay, so when the students have completed the form and you have all the data that you need, you can download this data, download as a CSV, and then it will look something like this. Your first row has the column labels, and then a particular student with this ID has their first choice. They want to do a topic on SDG4, the second choice SDG1, and then which tutorial they're in and which major.